Right, back, man. What's going on, guys? To an exciting new edition, main event, Talkin Hands, Center Press Select, joined by my co-host, Mr. Danny Betts. We're to recap last week's scintillating main event fight as Gervonta Tank Davis does not get the knockout. Really, we could say he escapes with the draw. He gets knocked down. Ref doesn't call it. We'll get all into that. Tank Davis, Lamont Roach, that's going to be the focus of the fight. Of this video, actually, the recap of the fight. Obviously, we'll touch on the undercard and the boxing news. And any questions you guys have for us in the chat, please let us know. We'll address all those as well. Danny, let's get right down to business. Tank Davis retains his belts. Fight goes the distance, a draw. Two judges had it 114-114. The third one had it for Roach, correct?
Yes.
What did you think of the decision, the fight in general, and everything associated with it?
If you heard the breakdown, yeah, I kind of assumed it was gonna go like this, like more, not like this. I meant like more like the pace. It was slow pace. Just because they know each other so much, and you could just tell right off the bat. He was so comfortable in there. Roach was with Tank Davis.
Yeah.
And he took a couple of shots, and then he took them well, and he was doing really, really well with the pull counters and outboxing them a little bit back and forth. That and then that whole knockdown, taking the knee thing, happened, and he went to Tank went to the corner to get a towel because he had some hair grease in his eye. He said it was burning or whatever, which I could get. I mean, yeah, but you can't do that. What makes it worse. It was right after. It was like 2 seconds right after a jab. So he takes the knee. That's a knockdown, bro.
And the ref, I think he started to count.
He started, yeah.
And then he went to the corner and said something. And then he's like, "All right, let's go."
He didn't know what the hell was going on. You got try to ask for a timeout, but taking a knee right after a punch, that's just gonna be a knockdown. But in this case, it wasn't. And the way I was scoring the fight, just watching it live, I thought Roach was winning 7-5 regardless. And then with the knockdown, I mean, it was clearly 7-5 I could see the draw, but I still thought he won by a round or two. It was close, but it was crazy. It was crazy. I don't think I don't remember seeing something like that.
Yeah, and they ruled it a knockdown. It happened with Floyd Mayweather, where he punched and he hurt his hand and he took a knee, but they ruled it a knockdown. But he didn't even get punched. He literally threw a punch, hurt his hand, winced, then went down, took the 8 count, finished out the round, yada yada. Nothing really happened. Yeah, I agree. I thought Roach probably won that fight. Definitely didn't think they would give it to him because obviously the money's in the rematch. Tank's the big name. You know what I think about Tank, but I did move my opinion. I did switch my opinion. It seems like this always happens when I start backing a guy. And
you've switched for a couple fights now.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
it's been a while.
I was surprised.
This happens though. I always say sometimes when you get when you fight in your hometown, something like this happens. You don't perform like you're supposed to, or you fight a guy that you sparred with, that you grew up with, like they did, boxing wise, and they were so familiar with each other, and they fought each other in the amateurs. You get these type of fights, you expect and hey, most importantly, the over was easy money. Easy money with the over. So I was happy I cashed that, and I told you guys that I wouldn't be surprised they went to the decision. I didn't bet it, but I mean, shit, that would have been a nice little plus money too. Big Show.
Shout out Big Show, then Chef's gone Big Show. I was more, I won't say disappointed, but I thought Tank could have really jabbed the body more to set up his overhand left, overhand right, right hook. He just seemed flustered in there. Didn't really let his hands go. And when he did sort of let his hands go, he just ate shots right back at him. He wasn't scared of the power, which is why I definitely thought eventually he would catch him, hurt him. That didn't materialize. Roach, Roach won the fight. What do you think? Pretty sure they'll do an immediate rematch.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, because I saw you tweeted or retweeted Tank, which what we saw last week, or we spoke about it. Can't wait to see who I call out next type thing. And it's like, well, that didn't work, buddy.
Right. Whoever it was, yeah, you're playing. He was looking, looking ahead already. But they definitely shout out to Ron Polo. They definitely got to the rematch, bro. And what I like is I like this energy now. Like, it went to a draw, and I don't know if you've been seeing their tweets. They've been going back and forth talking shit. Like, I'm like, yes, this is what I want, and it's gonna make the fight even bigger. I'm like, because they respected each other. You can just tell from the press conferences. Like, even his family and Tank was like, "Oh, your mom's there. I'm not gonna really." Like, they know each other. They've been around for years. So now I like this. Like, this energy. Start talking shit, and either Roach comes in even more aggressive and somehow wins, or Tank gets his lick back and shows people like, hold on, man, that was just a bad performance.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing too I'll say is you're not going to see Tank as a minus 2,000 favorite for sure.
I wonder what the line is. Yeah, that's gonna.
Yeah, I would assume like probably minus 400, but who knows? That's why I feel most bad for like the Roach batters, because that was a fantastic bet, and then I guess you get a refund.
I didn't see anybody in Roach.
Yeah, I didn't really see.
Betting wise, for sure, I didn't see not one. I don't want to hear shit.
Yeah, because even the majority of the bets, but that's why I gave the 10 to 12. The Tank KO was like minus 400. You couldn't give that out. So I was upset because I'm like, oh shit, like it's live. Maybe he's gonna get that late knockout, and then just didn't. Didn't do it. Air grease smashed. Yeah. Tank had. I thought that was a pretty weak, excuse.
Von Polo said, if they run it back May or September, that's going to be interesting because Canelo's got the May fights and September, so I'd rather. I mean, May's kind of quick, but I mean they're pretty. They look pretty healthy to me. I like it sooner the better. Just get this shit. Everybody's already been talking about it. They want to see the rematch. They now people know who Roach is.
Yeah.
Because the casuals. Because I've been saying like this kid is for real, and obviously Tank's got to get his his reputation back. So I want to see it sooner than later, but we'll see.
Yeah, and it sets up perfectly with which we'll talk about the card they just announced, or the press conference they announced. Haney, Garcia, Teofimo, obviously. So, that's crazy. Kaiser here had a plus 2,800 decision bet on Lamont in play. Honestly, every round was close. Like I didn't.
There's no. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, it wasn't a big gap. Like you're saying, like everything was just close. It wasn't like a big gap at all.
Yeah, and it looked visually, it just didn't look good for Tank either because he's on the back foot the whole time, which is how he fights. But usually he cracks the guy and then gets aggressive. He didn't really crack him hard.
Yeah.
He hit him with I think one good straight left. So that's about it. Nate should be able to make it.
So now my plan changed because I really was not looking good. A couple other things happened to me, but now we'll see. Friday I should be able to book it, so I should make it unless something else. I've been having bad luck lately. Something else happens around the house or whatever, but I should be there, Nate. Hopefully, but I'm only gonna be able to go Friday and then leave Sunday. But I think I would get there. Looking at the flights, I think I would get there like at 4:30 or whatever.
Yeah, that's enough time for sure, especially if you've been previously. Shout Swig in the chat. Swig. That being said, let's move on to the undercard. Co-main event was very one-sided. I thought this fight could have got stopped late. Gary Russell. He won every round pretty convincingly. Yeah. Beat up Jose Valenzuela. What do you think here, Danny? I don't even remember what the line was. I felt like it was close to a pick 'em.
It was close. Yeah, he was the dog for a while. I think he opened up like. I think it opened up him as like almost a plus 200. But Villanueva was like minus 200 or whatever. But all that money sharp money came in.
Yeah.
For me, it was a toss up. I pretty much passed on that fight. I was leaning Antoine, and since I missed the line, it kind of made me not bet it. But crazy performance, bro. He whooped his ass.
Yeah.
I mean, Russell needed that after losing to Puello, and people were like getting mad that he was getting a title shot after an L, which I understand. But I knew like he's talented enough to fight for the belt. Like, of course, obviously. But I was not expecting that. 12-0, like
Yeah.
belt to ass, looking like my Eagles to the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great performance. And if anything, the argument could be Valenzuela was over, I don't say hyped, but he got the belt with the upset, right? He was like a pretty decent underdog when he got the belt.
When he beat Pitbull.
Cruz, yeah. And he was probably the underdog against Colbert too. So, goodbye low spot on Russell. He looked good. Only, I guess you could say, surprising thing is he didn't get the KO, which he usually gets a knockout. But Jose was tough, very tough in there, especially late. Big Show's asking who won.
For what fight?
We thought Roach won the main event. Big Show. We both thought Roach won the main event. Other fight down there, Puello, speaking of Puello, wins, retain the title, split decision over Sandor Martin. What do you think of this fight, Danny? This is another closely lined fight.
They're all well, besides the co-main event, but this one was another close-ass fight. It was like one of those fights, what do you prefer? Because this one I knew for a fact. I'm telling everybody, like, parlay piece of the week probably is this is going to decision, bro. Like, it's chalky minus 430 or whatever. This is going to decision, like, hands down. And they were asking me another pass for me. They were asking me where was my lean, and I'm like, I like Puello by decision, but like split decision, split props, because I really think it's gonna be close. And I could definitely see why people think Martin won. I thought Puello edged it out. I'm talking about by a hair, bro. Yes, because I personally like how he counters.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more impactful shots. Not by much, but Martin was looking good. Like, outboxing him in a way. And in some moments, like you said, with the Tank fight, it was kind of similar. A lot of close swing rounds. And it was tough. I mean, you could argue for sure that could be another rematch right there. But I thought Puello edged it out. But, man, that was another close fight.
Yeah. Good. Just good matchmaking. Good, tough fight. Both guys are going to be getting those type of fights a lot in the future. And I no disagreement with the decision. Plus, I'm not a huge fan of how Martin fights.
Yeah,
really.
He could be his worst enemy sometimes. Like he's not. I'm not saying not trying to win. He doesn't like push. There's no like. Yeah, he's just cruise control.
Yeah, and that tends to be close fights, and then he can get robbed, and yada yada. Yeah. So even though I don't think he got robbed.
Plus, let's be honest. Like, even though for real, like I could have seen it either way. I thought Puello put it out, but like PBC, and then you got a top ranked fighter.
Yeah.
You think PBC was gonna give that belt to San Martin? Like,
right? Yeah, not a chance. And then the opener, Tellez wins a convincing decision against J-Rock Williams. Not much to say. If anything, kind of shocked he didn't get the KO. Definitely. I don't say Williams is shop worn or like over the hill, but he's had some tough fights, and he's been like hurt and knocked out bad. Kind of surprised Tellez didn't get him out of there, but good performance, young guy, definitely on the way up.
Yeah, same here. I was shocked. I thought he was gonna knock his ass out for sure because J-Rock was coming down. He hasn't been in his weight class for like a good amount of time, years, And I mean, even though he's fought some good guys, man, like good
Yeah.
competition, and it's always been his durability. He's got the talent, but it's just his durability and the output sometimes. But yeah, it was good experience for Tellus for sure, even though he didn't get the knockout.
Yeah, and he'll get matched well. You know, they're not gonna
Yeah,
put him in there
yeah,
with a big body puncher like knockout artists. They'll put him in there with guys he should look good against. That means so we can move on. Boxing news. The big piece of boxing news, which I think we touched on a little bit last week, but definitely got confirmed, and they had the press conference today, was the triple header by the Ring magazine. I guess is, I don't know if they're the promotion or what. That surprised me. They're bringing back Jim Lampley.
yeah. I'm happy for that.
Yeah, from HBO.
Yeah, it was funny because I heard him in the podcast like a couple of weeks ago, and the other guy was asking him, "Oh, so you think you'll come back eventually or something?" He's like, "I've just been enjoying my time and just waiting for anybody to call me, but I've never really got a call."
Yeah.
And then boom, I see now. I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." Because he's awesome, man.
Yeah, no, he's a great announcer and great, honestly, very good card when you look at it as a whole with Ron Garcia, Rowley. I think that'll probably main event. Haney, Ramirez, which I guess is at 147.
That's 147, yeah.
Yeah, which is I don't think that's good for Jose Ramirez. I think it's great for Devin Haney personally.
I heard him a little bit in the conference. He said he just couldn't make 140 anymore.
I just think it's if they give like under minus 200 Haney decision, I think that's a pretty easy bet. We'll see when the line comes out. And then Teofimo is going to fight Barbosa. Barbosa, of course, we just saw beat Catterall. So yeah, that's the other fight on the card. What do you think about the card as a whole? And so if Garcia wins, he's gonna go up to 147 then to fight Haney.
I guess I'm thinking that's what they're hoping. Like they both win,
yeah,
and then they make that fight. They got to, with the whole steroid thing, and everybody's gonna watch it. Like
that's the one thing I which I'm not a huge Haney fan to begin with, but he just keeps bringing it up. Where it's just he beat me.
This is okay. So I get it. But I hate when this type of situation. So the guy that did boxing wrong, and Ryan Garcia, but yet Devin Haney's the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a fan of him either. But like he's not the one that cheated, bro. Like yeah, he brings it up, blah blah. He has to because they ask him all the time.
Right.
They asked him again today. But like. That shouldn't be the case, in my opinion. Like that kind of sucks. Like the guy that got popped for steroids is the one looking like he's the good guy. That's some shit.
And Garcia, I think the whole thing too, which we talked about before that fight going in, he was off the wall. He was
he was
like a loony bin, like Kanye West now, like kind of like that. So
I'll say this though. That was true. Like he was drinking and smoking and whatever.
Yeah.
Going through a lot of shit, mental illness, whatever. The focus I see in this kid now, I don't know. That's it's kind of scary, bro. I ain't gonna lie. We'll see though. We'll get to that fight.
I mean, I rated Ryan Garcia fairly highly for a while.
It was just the other things.
Yeah. So. Should be fun. I think it's a good, fun 3 fights, and I don't think it's a pay-per-view. I don't know who's going to carry it, but I don't think it's a pay-per-view. That's in May. I think the weekend of the Canelo fight, actually.
Yeah. I think it's the day before. I want to say the second. They said.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. 2 months time. Any other news I saw? What did I see?
I thought I saw something too.
I saw Dylan White is out of the fight versus Joe Joyce. That was supposed to happen, I think, end of April. I'm sure they'll bring in a replacement for White, so Joyce will get a new opponent. But kind of slow news day or news week rather, and not a whole lot of action. for the week. Danny, if you have anything to add or anything.
No, I could swear I saw something else, but I don't remember. But yeah, I wanna catch the whole press conference. I know Barbosa and Tiafimo were going at it, of course, um, and because Barbosa's been calling him out forever. But
Yeah,
I understand why Tiafimo didn't fight him because like for what? Like he had no belt, he was a nobody.
and his style isn't
Yeah,
pleasing.
exactly that too. He was like, and I mean I'm not a fan of Tiafimo either. Like in a way, like the way he be acting or whatever. But he has a point. He's like, bro, I was world champion when I had like 14, 15 fights. You have like 30, 32,
Yeah,
and you finally got a belt.
yeah. Honestly, I'm a little upset because I wanted the Catterall Teofimo Lopez fight because I think Lopez would have knocked him out,
Yeah,
and that would have been a very, very fun fight. I just think the way Barbosa fights, it makes it like a drag and like tough to watch. But
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. I
We'll
think
see
he'll
now
be.
because he's got a lot of he doesn't like this guy, so we'll see if he changes his style.
Yeah, but if he goes in there and tries to like they
That's what
go
I
like
hope.
punch for punch, he's
So I'm
gonna
hoping.
get he's gonna get knocked out bad. Yeah, that's about it for us guys. If you got any comments, questions in the chat, let us know. Like I said, not really big boxing week this week. Next week we got a couple big fights. Of course, more stuff coming to that. Tonight out, of course, tune into Locker Room Talk Podcast. Big pay-per-view week. Alex Pereira
Yes.
and Kalayev. That's a big-time pay-per-view fight. And I was surprised by this. We don't really get into MMA too much here, but Justin Gaethje's a little bit of an underdog. I was kind of surprised.
Trap of the week.
What, you think Fiziev's gonna like kill him or?
Well, he could. That's what my prediction is, but
Yeah,
I think that's a trap in my opinion.
yeah. I was pretty surprised at seeing that personally, but oh yeah, that is true, guys.
Shit,
yeah,
how?
Matthias
Bro,
got a
thank
knockout.
Thank
Yeah.
you. The disrespect. I apologize. I did not talk about Matthias.
Yeah.
Go ahead, PV. You want to start off?
Well, I'll be honest. I just saw the KO. I didn't watch the fight. I just know he got the knockout.
Bro, that was. I'm screaming at the TV because I'm like, yo, stop this fight. The guy was getting killed and like he couldn't do anything. Like he shout out to him because he was fighting back, but that's what Matias wants. He cut him up real bad early in that fight. I think it was like round 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And just being his ass, bro. Like, and every round after that, they kept checking. The doctor kept checking him, and they wouldn't stop it. And I'm like, bro, this is how you end careers, man. You're talking to a guy that already, rest in peace. He already murdered somebody in the ring. Like,
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna let this keep going? They finally stopped it, like round 7, I think it was, because he finally took a knee, and the corner was like, I'm like, bro, you gotta save your fighter because he's just beating his ass. So Matias is back. I think he's a mandatory to fight Hitchens now. I don't know if that's concrete, if they're gonna eventually make that fight. I know he called him out afterwards in English. He's like, Hitchens, I'm coming for you, bitch. So hopefully that happens because that's gonna be a clash of two styles. I always love those because like. You got the slick boxer against the guy that's just going to go in there and try to kill you.
Yeah.
So, I love those, man, because I want to see which one wins. Those are really good to watch, in my opinion. But, yeah, I agree. Matias and Russell, that'll be a banger.
Yeah. No, that's a good fight for both guys, honestly. Like I said, Hitchens he's another one, kind of a tough, awkward style, the way he fights, where he could really make it a blah type fight, but we will have to see what happens. What's good with him is I don't know if it's his matchmaking manager or whatever, they put him in the ring quite often with Matias, so he's not really off for like 6 months a year. He's in there constantly churning it out. So that was good. Yeah, good. He got his I'd say mojo back, so to speak, after the Paro fight. Anything else, Dan, you want to add, Chad or anything, and we'll get on out of here?
That's about it that I can remember. Yeah, no big fights this weekend. I mean, I'm going to still have a couple bets or whatever, but nothing too crazy. I'm kind of more concentrated on the UFC, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a huge card, huge UFC card.
I'm gonna tell y'all this. Even if you think Ankalaev is gonna win, don't bet it. Don't fade Pereira, bro. Just stop. Don't. I personally can't. I'm a probably bet Pereira.
Yeah,
I think he's just gonna win, bro. Like the leg kicks, like the way Blackowicz was kicking the shit out of Ankalaev's legs to the point that he became a wrestler when he had no choice. I don't think he's gonna be able to take him down like that. Like people think he's Khabib or some shit. Like you never see this guy take people down for 3 rounds. Like I don't know, that's just my opinion, but
yeah, he God, I think he knocked out Johnny Walker. I don't know. He had one fight where I was like, "This is it. Like this is
Johnny
the
Walker,
guy."
like
Yeah, where
the whole Kutalaba thing. Remember those 2 fights? It was bullshit because Kutalaba was playing possum, and then like, what has he done? Like everybody's been saying. I know there's a lot of fanboys with Ankalaev. They've been saying he's gonna be champ. I can see it, but like he's got to prove it to me, bro.
Yeah, but I'll say top to bottom, it looks like a pretty good card, which is nice. I think they need a good card. It felt like it was pretty slow for a while there last week, and then it picked up. The main card had action fights. The beginning was pretty slow, but yeah, make sure you guys tune in. Lock 'em Talk podcast tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern, breaking down all things UFC 313 Pereira versus Ankalaev. We're gonna get out of here. We'll touch on 3 fights next week. There's multiple fights. Big fight. We're gonna talk about TJ Ball, or Nick Ball, TJ Dehaney. Yeah, my apologies. Danny, let them know where they can find you, what you got going on, and we'll hit on out here.
You had me thinking for a second. I'm like, who the fuck is TJ Ball?
And then I thought of like TJ Leaf, who's a basketball player, and
no, everywhere. With Danny Betts with 2 Z's, and Saturday I'll be on the stream with the boys for UFC. Next Tuesday, like he said, we got the show for boxing. You could join my Patreon for all my boxing bets. I'll have a couple. It'll be pretty light. I'll be honest. It'll be pretty light this week. Besides this 2-leg party that I kind of like a lot. It's Harlem Eubank money line, and I'm a price her decision. That should give you like minus 130-ish around there. So
yeah, her odds are going up.
Yeah, so I like that nice 2-legger. That's probably gonna be my biggest boxing bet, but nothing too crazy or anything like that. But yeah, see you guys next week.
Yeah, well, like Dan said, we'll see you guys next week. 3 fights, Pubapalooza 4. Guys want to come? San Antonio, Texas, March 20th, 23rd. All of the guys here on the channel. Yeah. Pick us up some food, Uber us around. We need all the help we can get. Southtown 101, Pubapalooza 4. Become a member if you haven't already. Web Sports Radio, $9.99 a month. All things good. We'll see you guys next week. This is Main Event Talkin Hands. Peace, guys.